hopefully people will join us and we'll gain something from it. So we said that the prince had a great fear from the merchants, and he ran after the animals, and they were running away. It became night. He was very scared, had to sleep alone in such a forest, such a jungle. And he heard the animals, roaring. And he actually decided to go up on a tree, and he slept there. And he heard the animals that, they're roaring the way they do. And then it says, "Vaboker istakel." In the morning, he took a look. Suddenly he saw the animals. He saw the animals are by him. They're standing right next to him. And he just a second. I'm trying to get the he saw the animals are standing, they're standing there right by him. And he went down from the tree and he went to catch them. And they ran further. And he went after them more. And they ran more. The animals, the cattle saw some grasses over there and they stood eating, pasturing. And he went to catch them. He would go after them and they run away. He goes after them and they run away. Until he came to the thickest, of the forest. There were the men eating animals. These are animals that are not afraid of human being at all. Because they're very, very far from human habitation. Veshuv nasa laila, and again it became night. Vesha shama kol hamas achoyos v'nisiyar me'od. And he had the voice of the animals roaring, and he became very scared. And he saw that there's a very, very big tree standing there. And he climbed that particular tree. When he actually arrived on top of the tree, on the tree, he took a look and he see there's another person lying there. Sipurey got very scared. But still, it was a little consolation. He found a person here. He's not alone. And they asked one another, Miata, who are you? Who are you, person? And he asked Miata, Ben. Each one asked the other one, who are you, human being, and who are you, human being? Where did you come from? And he didn't feel like sharing everything that passed by him. It was the animals, they caused me to come here. I was pasturing these animals, I was shepherding these animals, and two of them, just lost their way, and they came here. Where did you come from to here? I came here through the horse. I was riding a horse, and I stood, I dismounted, to take a rest. And the sus went and, just wandered into the forest. And I was chasing him to catch him. And he chased more. עד שבאתי לכאן, until I came here. ונסחברו שם יחד שלם צוותחד, and they connected together. They decided they're going to have a partnership. ודיברו ביניהם, and they spoke between them, שאפילו שיבואו ליישוב, even when they'll come to a place of habitation, יהיו גם כן ביחד בצוותחד, that they will still remain together. ולנו שם שניהם, and they both rested over there, they all slept there. And they heard the voice of the animals that are roaring and shouting very, 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 very strongly and loudly. Before we actually go to the next phase, there are certain things that need to be understood. He goes and the animals run away, and the animals animals that is running away, it is, I don't know how come that, just give me 1 second here. Start. All right. So we said that he's chasing the animals are running away. He finds a tree and he climbs a tree and he sleeps. In the morning, he looks and there are the animals right next to him. So he starts chasing them and they run away. And Rabbeinu repeats it. He chases them and they run away, and he chases them and they run away. And then they stop and they graze, and he chases them and they run away. And he chases them and they run away, and then time comes, the night comes, and he goes up on another tree, huge tree, and he finds a person there. That person is the person that came there through chasing a horse. He came there chasing behemoths, animals, cattle. The other person, as we will find out later, that is the false king, the false prince, the one that was exchanged. So there are a few things which are a little peculiar here. One of them is the fact that why does Rabbeinu repeat it? He slept on the tree. And then he woke up and he saw the behemoths and he went down, he chased them, and went and chased, and went and chased, and went and chased. And now it comes, goes up on the tree and he sees the slave. And at that point in time, he doesn't know who that other person is. So it is a great mystery. Why do they decide that they're making a team? That even when they will leave the forest, they will always remain together. What's the nikuda over here? It's possible to explain that, as we said the last time, when the real prince was chasing the behemoths, as we'll find out later, chasing behemoths, chases the animalistic existence of a person. It's already not, chasing the animalistic needs of a person in a bad way. That was a phase that he is already going out of. He has proven it by taking upon the responsibility to pursue the animals and bring them back, even though it meant sure death. So now he's being somebody very responsible. He's chasing the animals and they run away. He's chasing the animals, they run away. When we learned Likutei Moharan last week, we found that Rabbeinu was talking about that the middle ground between the kedusha and defilement is an area that is called sleep. When a person is asleep, and Rabbeinu said this is when a person is sleeping his life away. Rabbeinu said it's very easy for a person to waste his entire life running and chasing bare necessities. It's very easy. It's very easy to do that. You're chasing and you're chasing and you're chasing. And the fact that there's a repetition going on, that he's running after them, they're running away, he's running after them, they're running away, and then they stay for a while, and he goes after them and they're running away. It's like the story that Reb Nosson speaks about it and Rabbeinu speaks about it. A person, gets needs a certain level of necessities to be able to live. You have to meet your needs. You have rent to pay, or you have mortgage to pay, and you have this and you have that, whatever it is that you have. That's it. You got your animals. But it's not just that you got your animals, but you also you're into this headspace that you have to keep chasing the animals. And once they stop to feed, that means that, okay, you got what you needed to get. Animals grazing is a part of shepherding. That's why you're shepherding them. That's the reason why, that's the reason for the whole exercise. But what happens is that, the Russell speaks about it, suddenly your in-laws are buying you a table, or you get a fancy dress or whatever it is, and you have this beautiful table, and suddenly you take a look at your house and you see that the table is so fancy, but the sofa is decrepit. The kids were stepping on it, whatever it is, it's all dirty, it's old, it's torn, it's this, it's that. The beautiful table and the sofa, there's such a dichotomy between the two. You can't have it like this. So you have to change the sofa. All right. So you change the sofa. That means the animal got up and ran away again. Now you have to get a sofa. So once you get the sofa, now you notice that the walls of the house look horrible. So you have to paint the house. And once you paint the house, you realize that the house is altogether too small. B'kitzur, each time you up the ante. Each time you get something, you figure all I need is just to get what I need. I don't need anything more than that. This is true only up to the point where you get what you need. When you get what you need, the animal get up and run away again. They graze, you get something, Okay, now, I mean, I can't, it's a pasnish for me to stay, this kind of apartment, this kind of this kind of that. B'kitzur, you start chasing your tail again and again and again. And the situation spirals. And while that is happening, the night comes. And as we said the last time, the night represents the time of darkness. Nobody has time for davening. Nobody has time for, I mean, yeah, it's important. You got to daven, but you got to do it. It's like something that you got to do and get it over with, and move on, kind of thing. Well, I got to go to work. So what are you doing to davening now? You should have been davening 2 hours later before. No, but what are you talking about? I'm here now. What are you talking about? The answer is that the fact that I got to work has been verified by me. It has become an orpnimi by me. In between, I mean, the talk is that, I have bitochen HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's a slogan. What has been verified by me is that I got to work for a living. Now, when I say that I have bitochen HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's the talk. Question is, what's the walk? What in between that which has been verified and the fact that I need to have bitochen, or I have bitochen? The real state of affairs is, yeah, you got to have bitochen and, $10,000 in the bank for yesa bitochen, for extra security. A little more bitochen. It's just in other words, bitochen is a slogan. It hasn't been taken into has been verified. It didn't become an orpnimi. What happens is that comes a night. When the night comes, it means that until now, you plus minus got your life in order. You understand you need to work, you need to this, you need to that, whatever it is that you need to do. And suddenly come things that you haven't planned on. There can be problems that money doesn't answer anymore. There can be health problems. There can be relationship problems. It can be many different things. And you don't have an answer for them anymore. Running after the behemoths is not going to answer. This is not the answer. This is not the thing that is going to give you the solution. So you go up on a tree, or when you go up on the tree, in other words, when you realize that the only one who can actually save you, who can really solve the situation, solve the mystery, as it were, is a Kadosh Baruch Hu. You get there by climbing on the tree. That particular tree, as we said before, this is the tzaddik. And when you go to the tzaddik, you become exposed to a certain nekuda in you. Rabbeinu says in Torah Medalad that there is a triangle. There are three nekudas, there are 3 points. There's nekuda of the tzaddik, and there is the nekuda of the friend, and then there's nekuda of atzmo, a few between you and yourself. The nekuda of the tzaddik is the tzaddik leads you, on the way that you need to go. And he is already, whatever the avodah of the tzaddik does, the Kutan is filled with whatever it is that the tzaddik is doing. You get from him an awareness, a zeroing in focus, as Rabbeinu says in Torah Yudches that we learned before. You zero in on the fact that this world is a purposeful world, and you're chasing after the Kodesh Baruch Hu. You're chasing after Olam Haba. You're chasing after your tachlis. There's nothing to look for in this world. If you're going to be as rich as Mr. Gates, packing your money in the crates, you're going to be a Mr. Nobody, that is dressing himself in a cardboard box on the Bowery Street, chas v'chalila. You're going to live your life just the same. You're going to come into this world, you're going to pass your life, and you're going to leave this world. And you're going to give judgment. You're going to, stand judgment on everything that you did. It doesn't make a difference. But this world is as we said in the shir many, many times, we are in a hypnotic trance. We need to work. We need to do this. We need to do this. This is important. This is important. This is important. This is important. There are a lot of things which are important. What about davening? What about learning? Yeah, that is important too. That's the two. That's not the number one. Basically, that's the slogan. That's not the or panimi. That's not what was verified inside you. What's verified is this. You got to pay the rent. You got to. That's all true. It's all true. So when they finally meet on the tree, these two parts of the same person, the superfluous part and the neshama itself. And when he asked the true prince is the neshama itself, is the nefesh. And he asked him, well, how did you come here? How did you come wandering into the forest like that? And he says, the animals. I got here because I have to work for a living. He doesn't get into details that, I got to work for a living, and through working for a living, it got to, then we got a nice table, and it was so beautiful that the sofa stood out how ugly it was. So I have to buy a new sofa. And once we bought the new sofa, we realized how ugly the curtains are. But to get new curtains. And once we got new curtains, we realized, how ugly the walls are. And they all have to be painted. Once we realized that we painted, we realized we don't have enough. We have to build another. So it's a self-perpetuating condition. There's if you actually are able to do what you need to do just for a living, it's Kodesh Kodeshim. It's Kodesh Kodeshim. In fact, the way we are as people, each and every one of us, what we can do and that which we can't do, this is imperative that we go to work. Not just because we need to make a living. To make a living is just an assignment, that's just a test. We need to make a living because We need to go to work to make it because we need to be busy. We don't have the emotional wherewithal. We don't have the attention span that we need. We don't have the discipline that it takes. And we don't have the emunah. We're not holding there. Rabbeinu says that a person needs to sit and learn all day. He says, however, if the person finds himself, that he is, he's mevatel from the limiter, that, he's going idle every now and then, it's a mitzvah to tell him to go to work. That's what Rabbeinu says. It's a mitzvah to tell him to go to work. Pashut. You need to work. You need to work. He says, Gadol Talmid Torah derech eretz. Great is learning Torah with working. That the hard work that they both, the toil, the toll that they both extract on you, makes you forget the virus. Working is very, very important. Working is important, and not only that, b'masa matan be'emuna is a gewaldige thing. It's a gewaldige thing. It's part of the birurim that the neshama does in this world. It's a gewaldige thing. But it's very easy to be dragged into, all right, now I have food, all right? How about entrecote, nice thick entrecote, and like, do you like it rare, medium rare? No, like, do it like this, do it like that. So he says, I got here. I got to the forest. I got to find myself in the darkness where suddenly I have problems that I can't even solve them anymore. I have to go up on a tree. And the animals are crying, are roaring all around me in a tremendous cacophony. That means my life is a mess. I don't have an idea what to do anymore. I don't have solutions. All I have is problems. And he asks his other part, his body, his superfluous part, how did you get here? He says, with a horse. The horse led me here. The horse, as we'll find later on also, is the gaiva, is pride. Horse is a proud animal. Having a beautiful horse, having a, stallion, whatever it is, that's the height of the pride. It says horse represents, the prideful tivus of a person. So these two parts of the person are being drawn together through being sucked in by necessities into luxuries and being sucked in with the pride. And when these two meet together, they make a pact. They're two parts of one whole. Well, a person may not have parnasa, so why don't you go work? I don't know, for the municipality, or like sweeping the streets. What? Me sweeping the streets? Do you know who I am? What are you talking about? How about be a cashier in the supermarket? What are you talking about? I'll never be able to afford all the luxuries that I want or my wife want or whatever it is, or, I'll never be able to do that. And B, what are they going to give me anymore? What are they going to pay me anymore? how much people actually pay for vanity. I'm not talking about Rolls Royces. I'm talking about how much are people willing to chase ghosts and suffer poverty for pride. Rabbeinu says there's a story. There's a story that Rabbeinu said about. It wasn't a story. I'm sorry. There was a person that was a very wealthy man that came to Rabbeinu, and he lost all his money, and he became very poor. And he came to Rabbeinu and he asked him, maybe Rabbeinu can bring him back to his glory days. So Rabbeinu told him, you should go around collecting money door to door. And this person, he couldn't do that. He couldn't do it. So his situation went worse and worse. And the other Talmidim of Rabbeinu came to Rabbeinu and told him, look, maybe you can do something for him. Poverty is killing him. So Rabbeinu says, poverty is not killing him. Vanity is killing him. How many times, family members, be wives, husbands, whatever, confront us with, they catch us, as it were. Your wife may come and tell you something, says, I can't with you doing A, B, C, D, E, F, whatever. And you freeze. And you don't know what to do. Maybe you even explode. And you have no answer for her because what she's saying is right. What your parents are telling you is right. What the teacher's telling you is right. And you're like, the reason why you're frozen, the reason why you feel this in extreme angst and discomfort is because you're afraid to be exposed as a failure. I'm a failure as a son, I'm a failure as a husband, I'm a failure as a family member, I'm a failure as a student, I'm a failure, whatever, as a breadwinner, whatever it is, I'm a failure. And I refuse to look at it. I totally refuse to accept that. I have unbelievable hisnagdus, resistance to feeling that. So I usually have a false solution for it. I get angry. Or I disassociate myself. I go inside myself, inside my being. And I isolate myself because inside myself, I'm in a bubble. And in this bubble, nobody can penetrate. Sometimes the bubble can be something chemical. It can be alcohol, can be drugs, can be different things. These are very, very efficient bubbles because when a person is drugged up, he's safely ensconced in a see-through bubble that you are inside the bubble and everybody else is on the other side and they can't touch you. They can't harm you. You're isolated. You can do whatever it is that you want. And usually what it is a virus. And it comes to a point when night falls. Now you're talking about you're already in a place where animals are not afraid of human beings anymore. You're talking about the places usually our problems are, they're solvable within reason. You're going to get a loan from the bank, and you're going to go to this, and you're going to do that, whatever it is. At a certain point in time, it just becomes so crazy. The pain becomes so immense that there is no answer anymore. That the regular answers of day to day, you know, they don't answer. It doesn't. It's not enough. That's the time when you start looking inside yourself. That's the time when you see the other person lying there. You can interpret that any which way you want. You can see, hold on just 1 second, please. Hold on. Sorry about that. It's not a meeting afterwards. Um, at a certain point in time when you decide to heal your life, you have to take a look at your motives. You have to take a look at your history. You have to take a look at your story. We've spoken about many times, and probably will keep on speaking about it many times over. The story is my starting point at any given moment. If I'm a person who, as a child, was rejected, and I'm used to being rejected, and I explain my life and explain the situations as a dance of trying to get close and being afraid of being rejected and creating rejection, and almost like a dance. At a certain point in time, you have to find out and ask, Ben Adam, who are you? Ben Adam, who are you? How did you come here? What made me come here? And then you realize, I came here because of this particular story. I had to prove to anybody how I'm successful and this and that, and I got carried away. This one said, I got here because I was hooked on my pride and totally afraid of being humiliated and found out. People will find out that I'm just a nice story, but there's nothing behind it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your story is. What matters is that you identify what is it that got you there. The behemoths got you there, the tivus, or gaiva, or running after this world or whatever. Whatever it is, and as we said the last time, if you don't know what it is, you ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu what it is. And once you find out what it is that is making you suffer, you're 50% cured. Now all you got to do is you got to daven. You got to speak to Kadosh Baruch Hu about it and ask him. He says, okay, listen, I have, I'm absolutely, so, whenever it is that something good happens to me, whenever I'm succeeding, something bad will happen. I know that this is the way things are. It always happens like that. Or whatever your story may be. Unless the only way that you can not act out of your story is when you say, my own particular normal mode of operation is to act this way. To when I meet people who are very successful, are very rich, I feel that I want them to like me so much that I make a total fool of myself. Or people who are famous, I do that. Whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. Whatever your story is, it's only when you're saying, this is what my story is, but that you can actually act differently than your story dictates. But the master, that doesn't take away the story. As we said quite a few times, the first thing you do, you recognize what your story is. The prince is asking that man, who are you? How'd you come here? He says, from a horse. It was gaiva, fear of failure, fear of rejection, whatever. How did you come here? It's parnasa, feeling that I don't have anything to lean back on. I'm all alone in the world. I cannot trust anyone, emotionally or physically, whatever it is. The trick is at that point in time to make a covenant. You're connecting with the real reason that brought you here, and you work on it. This is what Rabbeinu calls the nekuda that is shaykh to your heart at this particular point in time. Don't try to blame somebody else for your problems. Look at yourself. Not because somebody else is not to blame. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. 90% of the cases they're not. But even if they are, what can you do to change them? The only thing you can do to change them is change yourself. People are constantly amazed by the fact that it is your own expectations from yourself that is actually manipulating others to treat you the way you want to be treated subconsciously. If you feel that you deserve to be humiliated, you will manipulate subconsciously other people to humiliate you. And vice versa. So working on them saying, listen, they humiliate me. Yeah, of course. But they're only doing what you want them to do. I don't want them to do this. No, you don't want to want this. It's too painful. That's right. But you can't solve the result. You have to solve the problem itself. And you do it, first of all, by recognizing it. Man, who are you? Man, who are you? How did you get here? Usually people do that when when the pain becomes so intense that running away from it doesn't work anymore. In fact, running away becomes more painful than actually working on the problem. And that's the reason why they decided to make a pact. They're going to be together. Because you realize, what is the day and the night? The day is when the problems subside. The night is when the problems rise and you're forced into action. So they say, we realize that right now we're in night, we're on the tree. The tzaddik has brought us to a point where we start being honest with ourselves and trying to find out what it is that's stopping me. Why am I not getting married? Because I don't want to get married. What? Of course I want to get married. So why aren't you getting married? Well, whoever it is that they bring me is wrong. Really? The reason why a person doesn't get married is because he doesn't want to get married. But I want to get married. No, you don't want to be alone. You don't want to be lonely, which is understood. But you don't want to get married. You're scared. If you don't work in that, you won't get married. Same thing as with making money. You tell somebody, you know something? The idea of, I'll tell you personally, me, the idea of being rich scares me out of my wits. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. Winning the lottery will freak me out totally. What the heck am I going to do with this? What the heck am I going to do with this? Everybody and his uncle are going to start discovering they're my relatives. Going to bang down the door. Right now, people sort of like leave me alone. Everybody will come, squeezing me and says, "Oh, how can you not help me? I don't understand. I'm just like what kind of monster you are." Until now, you didn't have nothing. We left you alone, but now you have. We're all together. It's like, I'm scared. You know, some people have absolutely no problem with that. You'll notice that the people who are actually rich are those who have absolutely no problem with blocking justified or unjustified access to their money by other people. Give me money. No. But you owe me money, so. Give me money. No. Well, it's their heart. Nope. Then you're going to be rich. If you don't have a heart like that, if you cannot block other people's claim on your money, justified or unjustified, you're not going to be rich. It's a package deal. Altogether, what we'll do is, B'ezrat Hashem, we will finish very closely to now. But what I want to do is I want to open up the discussion, as it were. Hold on just 1 second. The reason why I'm asking you to unmute is because Rabbi Statman has asked. Rabbi Statman, okay, you're also here.
Yeah.
Okay, Rabbi Statman has requested that the Thursday night shir would take Rabbi Ehrenzweig. Can you please unmute yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. That the Thursday night shir will take place at the Breslov Shul. So I wanted to bring it up to everybody here, and I wanted to hear your input about this.
We're all on